now that we have my brother about to come on, before we get started, my brother, he's pretty cool. My brother's been doing stand up since 2020, so it's now year 5. Starting year 5 when he started doing stand up. He's been doing TikToks since before that. Now he is incorporating both. He is on social media. He has combined on social media over 1 million followers. So he has an audience. He has been doing pretty good. He does skits here and there. So welcome my brother David, aka Zunnni. I told you guys we have our studio audience. Please. So how are you feeling coming on the show?
I'm not gonna lie, I'm very excited. This is so fun. I've done a few podcasts. This is gonna be the one.
Not this is gonna be the one.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate you for coming on. It was I know you weren't feeling too well, so thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
I'm excited though. This is like the first episode where I officially have other people to talk to. I'm sure my audience, I appreciate you guys, and I'm sure you guys appreciate listening. But you guys are probably like, he's still talking. Like, so it's cool to have a dynamic type of conversation with people outside of just me verbally. So thank you for coming on. So yeah, now that we're here, David's here, Zunni's here. I want to talk about slightly your origin story, about like what made you want to start TikToks and what made you want to continue, because being consistent on social media as a do you want to call it an influencer?
Yeah.
Yeah, being a social media influencer and somebody who constantly posts on social media, for people that know, it is not easy. People think that it's just you record, you edit, you post, but there's a lot of time and energy to come up with concepts you want to record, and then the time to record it, the time to edit it, and the right times to post it.
Right.
So yeah, what made you want to start doing TikToks?
I'm gonna be honest with you. Yeah, because he was posting on TikTok when you were at Towson. He lived in Towson.
Yeah.
And he went like viral. I think he had 60,000 followers. I think something like that. Like you had a video go have 60. It was like the High School Musical.
It was something.
I don't or it was Medea. I forget. It was one of them. But like I remember I told myself I was like, if he could do it, then I probably could do it too. So that's why I started.
Wow. No, I didn't know. Not all. I didn't know. Did I know that? I don't know. I think that the video you might be referring to, because back when TikTok was first coming out, all I was doing was the little dance joints or like stuff like that. But then I was like, oh, they have like little mocking, like, when you have the laptop up and you recreate a scene that people have done in a movie or a show. That's what made me want to keep doing it. So that was fun to be a part of and to do. Uh, so that's cool. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I'm sure being consistent is not as easy. Like, I'm sure doing that is like, because I be seeing you, my brother in here, he be like, I'm about to record a video. You hear him breathing heavy, recording in the corner, and then 15 minutes later, you see, oh, he just posted. You know what I'm saying? So, what is your, I guess, recipe with not overwhelming yourself? Because, like I told him, you do stand up too. So, do you have days of the week you record your videos, you edit and you post, or do you just like you record, you wait a little bit, then the next day you edit, and then you post the next day? Like, how does it work?
It depends. I mean, at least recently, I haven't found my schedule, but usually how it used to be was like I have an idea, I post it, and I edit it immediately. And then I post it around 1. That was like I did that every day for like almost 2-3 years, and while I was in college and even doing stand up.
So you were posting every day for 3 years straight.
Yeah.
Well, for like two
Yeah.
2 years straight,
Yeah.
posting every day
Yeah.
at 1 p.m.
Yeah, basically around 1. Yeah. Yeah.
And you know what? I do want to say this on camera. David, my brother, we're siblings, so we have moments where he annoys me to the bone. But one thing I can say is I appreciate his work ethic. I can appreciate how hard he works, and it's very inspiring. I've told people before, I'm telling you now on the record, you're very inspiring to me when it comes to dedication and consistency. Because I've told you guys that consistency is the word of the year for me, and how I want to elevate myself in many different ways. Because there's moments where we don't feel like doing stuff or not caring enough to do it, but you do it anyway because knowing that you're being consistent will take you to rooms where non-consistency won't. Because then it's like you never know what's going to help you, and you never know what people see and who's watching. So just keep doing you, keep being consistent, keep working hard, because now he's grown his audience to, like I said, over 1 million people total all over Instagram and TikTok and YouTube,
Right.
subscribers and everything. So that's what's up. So stand up comedy. You started stand up comedy in 2020.
Yeah.
And stand up comedy is a whole other thing, right? People say that I'm funny and I should do stand up comedy. Even he's told me that he wants me to do stand up. But I mean, the idea of standing in front of people and on purpose making them laugh is, I wouldn't say it's terrifying, but I feel like there's a little level of uncomfortability that I have with that. Because I feel like, what am I supposed to say that's gonna make you laugh? Like, how do I know what I'm saying is gonna make you laugh? So, what made you feel like, okay, let me do this? Like, how? I'm sure it took you a long time.
I don't even know. I don't even know. I just feel like I was always weird, and I couldn't really connect with people. But I always my observations were funny, so I would make people laugh at like my job on TNs, and they would always die laughing. So I was, it was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I would try something different with like this. Like, I guess I'll go up on stage. Plus, watching Dave Chappelle, I was like, it was possible.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I think that's what's important. That's also what I noticed about you. I feel like you looked up to people like Dave Chappelle, especially.
yeah,
But like Eddie
yeah,
Murphy and people like that who you've seen is like, okay, I see you guys do it, I can do it too, type of vibe.
yeah,
And that's how I look at it. That's how I look at acting. I look at acting like, okay, I grew up watching Martin Lawrence, I
yeah.
grew up watching Raven Simone, I grew up watching Will Smith, the list goes on.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, I see you guys do it. I love y'all. I love y'all. Chris Tucker, I
Yeah.
love y'all content. I want to do that too. I see myself doing it. Um, so as far as acting, do you ever see yourself venturing off into acting? Or do you feel like stand-up comedy is as far as you go?
I mean, if it's like a good, I guess, script, then yeah, I'm down. But for the most part, I could just stand up for the rest of my life, honestly. Yes.
See, and I can do acting for the
Yeah.
rest of my life. I feel like, and that's the thing. That's the thing I like about me and my brother. We're in like this world where it's similar, but we have our own thing that makes us different, which I think is pretty cool. But
Yeah.
in the whole grand scheme of things, I think it's really cool that me and my family, as you saw, my sister too, is really into music. We are all into the entertainment world and trying to have our voices be heard and have our dreams come true. So me and my brother are going to have a lot of stuff that we're going to be working on together and that we're going to be having out in the whole world. So I'm excited for you guys to see that this year and see what's going on. So speaking of the people that we were talking about, like Dave Chappelle, who else did we say? Eddie Murphy, because we both agree those people we've looked up to. Who are your other aspirations that you would like model your stand-up comedy career or your entertainment career too?
Yeah, it's this guy named Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Who else? It's a lot of people, black people. Brian Simpson. It's a lot of people, but I know what I noticed with comedy. It's like you just gotta be yourself. Like I think I'm at a level with my comedy where like I know I'm funny, and now it's just time to just talk about things that like either irritate me or just causes me to have a lot of emotion.
So you know your style of comedy pretty
Yeah, I
much
would
is what
say
it
so.
is. And so I'm sure so that came about because I mean, all the years, 2020 to now, so that's 5 years pretty
Right,
much.
right,
So 5 years of you trying to discover yourself as a
right,
stand-up comedian, what your niche is, and I guess in that way, and how you can relay a story to the crowd
right,
in your own way.
right, right. Yeah,
And so,
basically.
okay, so you said all those people. Is there anybody else as well?
Uh, Honestly, no. I probably should watch more comedy. I don't watch as much, but it's really me, honestly. I just watch myself. I just correct the jokes that don't work.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. You always have to like. There's no other better way to get yourself better without watching yourself and seeing maybe some errors or some things you'd want to tweak, which is my point of being consistent with yourself and
Yeah.
keeping up and learning more, maturing, understanding, observing, all those things. And that's what I had to learn in my acting career, that it's like training never stops. You know what I'm saying? Like I believe in constantly getting better and constantly learning your craft and getting better at your craft. So I think that's really cool to see you do that, because I think that's actually crazy. He started his stand-up comedy career. I started my acting career the same year, because 2019 I graduated college in the fall, December of 2019. And then January I took my first ever acting class.
In 2021.
2020.
Oh, 2020.
Because it was right before COVID. Me and you, me and him actually went to the same. We did acting together. We did the same audit class, but then I continued, and then yeah, that's how we both started. And then he ended up venturing off into stand-up comedy. I ended up venturing into acting, and we're both doing what we're doing. And I appreciate where we are now because you're getting paid for your stand-up comedy and all those things. I'm getting paid for acting and stuff like that. But as we know and as other creatives know, it is not easy at first. Like you're going to do stuff like this for free, and you have job like we have jobs. You know what I'm saying? Like this doesn't just pay the bills solely. One day it will. One day what we're doing will be our main source of income, and we'll have, of course, we'll have other sources of income, but it will be our main source, and we don't have to worry too much if whatever, you know what I'm saying, for whatever reason financially. But as of right now, comparing yourself from when you first started in 2020, doing free shows and doing shows, all kinds of, this dude, he would do like 4 or 5 shows a day. Let's say 3 to 5 shows a day for years. I had to force him to calm down, be like, listen, you have to give yourself rest. And he still would, you know what I'm saying? He still wouldn't do it. So going from those days doing it for free versus now, do you feel like you've grown in the world of that?
Yeah, I would say so. I would say I was trying to figure out who I was, at least comedically. Even as I started so young, like I didn't know who I was. But now I know, I have a sense of who I am, and yes, and also I think I'm funny enough to I don't have to do as much like
Yeah.
I used to. I mean, I could, but you know, at certain spots there's no audience, so it's like I'm kind of making myself worse by performing for nobody instead of performing for audiences. So now I'm more so performing for just audiences.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah, over just no, yeah, just drunk people on the TV. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, you would perform at different spots for people who don't even know what's going on. They're just there. You know what I'm saying? And so now you're performing in places that, like, oh, a comedy club. Like you perform, like the biggest spot you performed in the DMV is what, DC improv class, DC. What's it called?
Yeah, before DC, I actually perform next month, but
See,
I performed for a theater. It was for this guy. You probably gonna say this Middle Eastern guy, but it was like 500 people. I think 300.
yeah, that's big. Like, and then you performed at a spot of the DC Improv, which is a big place to perform at as a stand-up comedian, you know. And then you also performed outside of the DMV. You performed in Boston,
Yeah.
New York. Where else? Well, the states.
Philly,
Philly.
and might have performed in Atlanta the next month.
See?
Oh, this month, 2 weeks from now.
Oh, first of all, I didn't even know they was performing in Atlanta. So how are you going? You about to fly?
Yeah, I'm flying in.
When do you leave?
The 21st.
He said he was gonna drive.
Yeah, I was gonna drive, but
That's crazy.
yeah,
No. So yeah, you definitely have to fly. But so that's good. So shout out to that. If you guys are in Atlanta, anybody's in Atlanta, definitely pull up to his show. What date was the date of the show?
February
In time.
22nd. I think it's at 8.
That is ridiculous. He's having a show February 22nd at 8 p.m. I'm having a red carpet premiere February 22nd at 5 p.m.
Yeah, I think
for a show that I was a part of. That's actually crazy.
Yeah.
And that happens pretty often. There's always something happening with both of us around the same time. But that's really good. Shout out to my brother. Shout out to the work because it's not easy, especially when you're not making money. Like in the beginning, it's really unfortunate. Like I wish there was a way for all of us artists and creatives that are on the come up to be able to be financially supported. But it's all part of the grind.
Yeah.
It's all a part of it. It shows how much you love it because that's definitely something like this is that's what weeds people out of certain things. Like you want to act, but it's like, do you understand how much work that takes to be an actor? You don't just memorize and perform. Like there's a lot of things that go into learning a script, dissecting a script, and performing and all those things. Like before you even get in front of a camera.
I don't know how you do that.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot. It's fun for me though. It's fun. Like I truly. It's almost like I'm a kid in a candy store. I feel like I'm allowing my mind to run wild because for me, I'm his older brother, and my sister who was just on. I'm her older brother. I'm the oldest of all four of us. So growing up, I had to have this certain level of maturity in the house and growing up and around them. So now that we're all grown, it's hard to switch it on and off around them. My friends, I feel like, know a different version of me than my family does, just because I feel like I've always had to be a certain mindset around them. I feel like they still see it because if my friends are around and they're around, they kind of see my banter with my friends and stuff. But I feel like me being the older sibling, I had to be really like mature, like cooking and watching them and giving them advice and helping them do this and that. The list goes on, even reprimanding them. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it's a lot. But speaking of me being your older brother, how was it me? How was it with me being your older brother?
Um, I think it's so tough because I was so selfish growing up. Like you don't even realize. Like it's one of those things where it's like it's only a few people you could trust. Um, like and I mean, when it's like you're the only family. Because we have like extended family, like grandparents, cousins, uncles, aunts, but we were all here together. It's like I can only trust you guys, so it's like I just trust your advice. I think so much.
Mm.
You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I think it was cool. The older I grew up, the more I was like, oh, it's just tough to be an older brother. Like even like having a girlfriend, it's like it's tough to be a leader in general because a lot of people count on you, and if you mess up, or if they, if you know what I mean,
Mm.
some bad habits, it's like now it's almost like they don't see you the same way, or I don't know. It's like it's just tough. It's a tough job.
It's very tough, and I
Yeah.
appreciate that. No, it's very tough. I mean, for some of y'all that could relate, first generation Africans, if you guys are listening, being the older sibling is not the easiest. Being the older sibling in any culture is not easy because there's
Expectations, bro.
a lot of expectations put on you, a lot of expectations, but it's also like the role you're in, it's really you're put in tough situations sometimes, and you have to automatically know how to maneuver through it. So it's I mean it's so many different things, it's so layered, but without getting too deep into it, I appreciate that, because being your older brother was not easy and is not, especially I think a lot, and I'm very protective of my siblings, and I overthink a lot about them, so it's like I want to make sure they're always good and all that stuff. So and then it's like I don't know, it's just it's a lot. And me having to be perfect, because that's essentially what you have to be. You always have to show your siblings how somebody is supposed to be. And sometimes it's like when you are learning how to be yourself and how to navigate the world as a person, it's hard to be in the mindset of showing somebody else how to live or how to be, because you don't even know how to do it yourself. You're still learning. You're a human. You do errors too. But I learned that being the older sibling, you're the trial and error kid. So if you mess up, your siblings see it. And that's what I try to let them know. Like, listen, here's where I messed up at. Here's how not to do that. But of course they're human, so they want to make their own mistakes and learn themselves. But yeah, it's cool. Being your older brother is a fun job. It's stressful at times,
Yeah.
but it's fun. It's fun, especially when you guys have big aspirations like this. Yeah, it's cool. So where do you see yourself? Like, where's a place in the future? Do you see, like, where do you want this stand-up comedy slash content creation? Where do you see it going for you?
Like I think, like you said, like I want to be able to get like I want to be able to have money, like be really rich from content creation. Like I don't want to have another job. Like I just want to do this. Like and yeah, I think I want this for the whole family, like individually, like for you, Joyce, and instead, and I want everybody to have be able to do their goals. So that's what I want. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you see yourself? I mean, likewise, that's pretty much the similar goal for me. I want financial freedom for not just myself, but all of my siblings.
Right.
I would love to see you guys living out you guys' dreams and doing what y'all love. That's the main thing. Life is too short to just be doing anything. So I
Right.
feel like doing what you love and doing it in a way that brightens people's moods, and because I really do feel like God put us on this earth and gave us the family He's given us for a reason. And I think that He did this in a way of like showing us our dreams and stuff through visions, through actually sleeping and having dreams about what we want to do in our lives, and putting us in situations that we're growing and learning from, so that in the future we're living out what he has showed us through visions and dreams and stuff, because I definitely see a lot of stuff for all of us, and living a great successful life. I also feel like with the future, I'm excited to see where it goes for us because there's a lot of stuff that I see, especially me and you. I see a lot of stuff me and you can do where we have learned all the things through our separate roles and our separate goals and everything that we've been doing and come together and work hard because I look up, I didn't name them yet, but they're a big inspiration to me. The Wayne brothers, all of them, from Damon to Marlon, including their sister. They are such inspirations to me as a family working together and reaching goals and heights. And I pray to work with them one day. That is a goal for me. That is something that I want to achieve. I will cry my eyes out the first time I'm on set and I'm with any of the brothers and I'm working with them. Like that's a big goal. I really want to be in Scary Movie 6. So I hope that my agents can figure out a way we can make that happen. Marlon, I don't know if you're gonna listen. Marlon, please, I will audition. You don't even have to give me let me audition. Let me prove myself that I know I could be a great asset to Scary Movie 6. All right. Like I could play your little brother. I could play anybody. I could play anything on the I could even play no, I don't know. I don't even know what the script even is yet. So yeah, let's work. Let's work one day. We're gonna work one day. I'm gonna work with them one day. But yeah, I feel like that pretty much sums up today's episode. Thank you for coming on, David, aka Zuni. For a lot of you guys that know him, I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate Joyce for coming on. Thank you guys for watching. Is there anything else you want to say before?
Nah, man. Just keep swimming.
Just keep swimming, y'all. And everything you do, just keep swimming. Don't let the current or anything like that stop you. We are all one step closer to our goals the more we keep swimming. Yes. So I appreciate you guys for listening. Thank you guys for tuning into episode 6. It means the world that you guys are caring enough to watch what I'm posting. So thanks again. And I'll see you guys on episode 7, where I'm going to have my next guest. And that was going to be fun too. See you guys then.